Isekai is a subgenre of fantasy in which a character is suddenly transported from their world into a new or unfamiliar one. Isekai tropes include having a self-insert modern man as the main character, suddenly transported into a new world having cheat-like abilities. However, in this video, I present the top 10 list of manga that follows the same formulas as an isekai, but the main characters aren't transported into a new world. They are instead reincarnated, regressed, or just given the abilities that make them comparable to isekai main characters. Number 10. The Demon King of the Frontier Life. There was a mage called the Lone Demon King at the frontier. He was just a creature that never grew old, but he was loved by the villagers as something of a guardian deity. However, he was destroyed by a magic organization that sees his existence as dangerous. 200 years later, he is reincarnated as the second son of an aristocrat and obtains the strongest magic power. However, being a human lover, he didn't particularly think of revenge and decided to pretend to be human in this life. In his past life, he was the guardian deity of a region, and in this life, he's a local aristocrat, but he does not know common sense. He doesn't know how to take it easy. As the second son of an aristocrat, he is loved by his family and friends, and while he is regarded as a master of magic in the Magic Guild, he becomes an immortal mage, behind the scenes. Number 9. The legendary rebuilding of a world by a realist demon king. In a dilapidated castle, Astaroth awoke as a demon king. With his wisdom from his past life, he would rule over his lands as a thorough realist. Demon King. Why are you attacking the level 1 heroes? Defeat them before they become stronger. That is called strategy. Demon King. Why are you sending fake money to the enemy country? To bring chaos to their economy so they will self-destruct. The werewolf troops have attacked. Should we use silver bullets? Not bullets, shoot them with cannons. And like that, Astaroth reformed the old tendencies. He became a lord who was loved by the people and his subordinates, and he would go on to be called the most powerful demon king in history. Number 8. The Irregular of the Royal Academy of Magic. Magic. A sacred mystery is usable only by those chosen. A world where only people born into a noble family can use magic. Although he was a commoner, Ars, who had a great magic talent, was called Cursed Blood and was forced to live an oppressed life. He was banished from his family home at a very young age and spent 10 years training as a magician. A sorcerer by the name of Genos Wilzard learns of his talent and raises him, turning him into the greatest of assassins. One day, Genos gives him an order to enroll at the Magic Academy. At the age of 15, Ars is encouraged to attend a magic academy to become an official magician. When he showed up at the gate of the academy, what awaited him was a group of nobles who were at a very low level. Number 7. An Archdemon's Dilemma. How to Love Your Elf Bride. An Archdemon's Dilemma. How to Love Your Elf Bride is the official title of the story written by Fuminori Toshima. It tells the story of the socially awkward but powerful sorcerer Zagan and his life with Nephilia, the beautiful elf he fell in love with at first sight and saved from a life of slavery. Zagan is feared as an evil mage, he is awkward and has a sharp tongue, and once again had to put down thieves that encroached on his territory when he researched that morning. In a dark auction, he finds a white slave elf, Nephi, who holds a peerless beauty. Falling in love with her at first sight, he uses his fortune to buy her, but as poor as he is socially, doesn't understand how to connect with her. Thus, the clumsy cohabitation of the mage that can't convey his love, and the slave who pines for her master but doesn't understand how to bring it up, begins. Number 6. Mysterious Job Called Oda Nobunaga. The young Alsrod is eagerly waiting for the day that he's granted a job in the temple. In this world, when one reaches adulthood, they are granted jobs like swordsman or magician by divine revelation. Among them, the one said to be the strongest is the magic swordsman. Alsrod is the illegitimate second son of a small feudal lord, and the seat is already succeeded by his elder brother who already put him in the front lines. He's in a position that could lose his life on the battlefield any day. If he became a magic swordsman, a job that was possessed by the famous heroes of the past, he could change his situation. However, the job that's granted to Alsrod is not a magic swordsman nor any of the other common jobs. It was a mysterious job called Oda Nobunaga, that none of the temple's people knew anything about. The manga has isekai concepts, but the main character is a native dweller of his world. Only the concept of his power comes from another world, historic Japan specifically, so this is not an isekai technically. Despite that, it is still a joyful read, especially if you like kingdom building and overpowered main characters. Number 5. The boy who had been continuously burned by the fires of hell. A young boy named Valflare, also known as Flare, lives in a sorcerer's village at the far end of the world. With no one to look after him, Flare lives a peaceful life, learning from his parent and teacher, Tuck, the martial art of Do Thor Yu, a combination of spellcraft and martial arts. However, there was a big secret in this village of sorcerers. The sorcerers were the guardians of the Hellgate, the entrance to hell where the flames of hell burn. Once every 100 years, a sacrifice had to be made to the Hellgate. The one chosen for the sacrifice was Flare. Flare was burned as a sacrifice to Hellfire. Hellfire, once sealed unquenchable fire, whose fierce flames can burn the entire world to the ground. But wait a minute, is he not dying? Had he endured the fury of Hellfire? Flare literally rose from the ashes and returned to the world of the living, gaining the ability to control the Hellfire. This is a fantasy story about the travels of a free hero who conquered the flame and cheated death itself. Number 4. Road to Kingdom. This is the story of a young slave gladiator in an underground arena. He doesn't know about his past or how he got to where he is, only that his name is Ager, and that he is strong. One day he kills the boss and escapes the arena, joining a band of mercenaries as a new recruit. During one mission, they encounter the vampire, Lucy, who slaughters the band with her inhuman strength. After learning that Ager only knows how to kill, Lucy lets him stay at her house, educating and taking care of him. 2 years passed, and on the day of Ager's departure, they both exchange a promise that if Ager becomes a king and owns the land of Erg Forest, he can come and take her as his woman. Making this his life goal, Ager set out on a journey to become a hero, a king, and found his own kingdom. This is a very interesting fantasy manga that has a very strong main character similar to other isekai series. However, this is very dark and there are themes that are only suited to adults. Number 3. The Villager of Level 999. In this world, the concept of levels exists. Other than those who live off defeating monsters, most people are only around level 1 to 5. What's more, not just anyone can go out to hunt monsters, it's heavily influenced by one's role anointed by God. There are 8 such eligible roles: warrior, fighter, cleric, magician, rogue, merchant, hunter, sorcerer. Those blessed with extraordinary power are divided into 3 types: royalty, heroes, sages. But the majority of the population has no such powers and live by farming or running shops. Towns are developed by those with the weakest role, villagers. For the powerless, villagers going out to hunt monsters is equivalent to committing suicide. But one day, a certain 2-year-old child given the role of villager notices something. Once you defeat a monster, you can earn great wealth. Kagami Koji is the main character of the series. He is the only character in the series who is level 999 or max level. As a child, Kagami chose to have a neutral role because his father was killed by monsters and his mother was killed by humans. He decided to become stronger and killed monsters for years while leveling up. After some time he began to question the reason why monsters drop currency which is used by humans, and presumably stumbled upon an answer. Number 2. The useless tamer will turn into the top unconsciously by my previous life knowledge. Due to an accident, the protagonist Various died and was reincarnated. He was shocked to find in this new world, his former job as a tamer in the previous world was acknowledged as a low-class job in this new world. Utilizing his knowledge from his previous life as a basis, he then applied unique buffs to his beasts, taking back the ultimate power that he once possessed. With this power in his hands, he sought to start his life as an adventurer. Everything in the title is the embodiment of the series. Therefore, if the title appeals to you, the story will probably not let you down. One thing that sets the manga apart from other fantasy series is the fact the art is very unique. The actions, the impact of each hit, and the character movements are so fluid and really expressive. This is a reincarnation manga, so technically it isn't isekai. However, This manga might be the most resembling isekai series on this list. It has tropes similar to Isekai Manga, but if you like reincarnation manga with a main character overpowered from the start, this manga might be a good read for you. Number 1. ISEK. During the 17th century, Europe is being devastated by the 30 Years' War. Although the Netherlands send reinforcements to the Holy Roman Empire, almost all of them end up deserting, with the exception of a single Japanese man. Traveling all the way from East Asia, ISEK is searching for the man who murdered his master and stole something precious from him. Suspecting the killer has joined one of the opposing armies, ISEK participates in the war as a mercenary, hoping to find and end his nemesis once and for all. ISEK combines two disparate battlefronts, the Japanese and the European, by depicting a conflict between two Japanese snipers who go on the run as mercenaries while one of them seeks retribution, all of which takes place during the 17th century in the former Holy Roman Empire. To create such realistic confrontations, the author had to do a lot of research on him, as evidenced by the manner he conducts the battles. For those who enjoy history, ISEK is the ideal manga because it accurately depicts European armor. In the epic adventure story, ISEK, which is set in 17th century Germany, we follow our hero as he engages in brutal combat and spars with mercenaries, lords, and lunatics. ISEK is included in this list because it resembles the concept of transporting the main character to another world, but instead, in this story, the main character is somehow transported to another continent with a different language and culture. He also presents a somewhat new technology, which is his sniper-like gun, similar to other isekai manga. Also, ISEK is such a beautiful hidden gem that everybody should talk about. Do you agree with this list? If not, feel free to comment on mangas that you think are suited to this concept in terms of story and premise. As this is one of the first videos on this channel, you guys can give constructive criticism so that I'll be able to give better videos related to manhwa, manga, or anime in the future. Please like this video, and subscribe as this helps a lot for the growth of this channel. Thank you for watching.